being a reserve against Penn State on Sunday in Iowa with its typical lineup, including 4 seniors and a junior.
Well, between the two teams, 7 starters are seniors. Between 2 top 16 teams, you don't see that. It should be a heck of a basketball game. By the way, both experienced and both very, very good.
Experienced officiating crew as well. Brian Dorsey, Mark Whitehead, and Gene Sterator over from football. And Michigan State has it first with the sophomore Tum Tum Nairn, 2 of the top 3 scoring teams in the Big Ten tonight. Good return for Denzel Valentine.
Yeah, a couple days ago, he was really struggling. And even in the first game back, only playing 10 minutes, he was struggling. Gazelle didn't forget what he did last game. He opens the game with a layup.
He's been so much better this year. Points per game, assists per game, both career highs for the senior from South Sioux City, Nebraska.
Well, I think I think exactly what we heard from Fran McCaffrey. You know, he's comfortable with himself. So if I need to shoot the ball for the team, fine. If I need to set other folks up, that's fine too. A very experienced, very good player.
Nairn, a rare turnover, just 4 in the last 3 games for Tum Tum Nairn. And an open look for Peter Jock, his 30th 3 of the year.
Yeah, and their best three-point shooter. You know what? It's a great start for Iowa. Not just counts on the boards, but they get into play right away, get a turnover, which they got last time. That's a positive because you go on the road in the Big Ten, you better bring everything you have.
What does Michigan State need to change tonight against Iowa?
Don't turn it over as they just did. Recognize pressure because you'll see certainly some straight man-to-man from Iowa. You'll see an awful lot of other stuff too.
Adam Woodbury came out to help up top. Shot fake for Bryn Forbes. And the offensive rebound, Gavin Schilling ties the game.
Well, that's why he's in there. They're going bigger to get more muscle in the paint. Certainly worked on that play. By the way, Jason, you can feel the crowd, though. They know this has got some importance to it.
You've brought teams in here. What's it like to play in this venue?
Well, it's crazy, and you know, they have great tradition. You know, just like teams have culture, the students have culture too. They believe that Michigan State can win and will win.
Off the find from Gazelle, the rebound for Michigan State. A tremendous defensive rebounding team that likes to push off the rebound. And a foul on the attack from Forbes.
This would be classic Iowa. By the way, Jock is their best shooter. Got the ball at 3, green light. Terrific. And here's Michigan State right back at you. We're going to pound the boards and pound the boards. And they started off by doing that. Both teams obviously playing up to what they can do well. That's what good teams do, by the way. They don't just play. They play at what they do well. And I think a lot of times that's missing. Folks don't see the fact that you don't just play, you play at what is your strength and what is something that you obviously practice 2.5 hours a day.
And Michigan State has rebounded so well under both Tom Izzo and Judd Heathcote going further back. Last year they were out-rebounded was 1983.
It's unbelievable. You know, I remember playing them in 99 at UConn. The number one thing we had in the scouting report, get to the paint, don't let them dominate on the boards, and stop their fast break. 20-something years later, same thing.
Gazelle the clear out, and that's his second personal foul.
That was great defense. I'd be interested to see. That one I thought was an easy call. I think the arm extends. It does. Once that arm extends, you aren't going to get that call.
Well, we heard about it in the offseason. The directive is on displacement. And Gazelle created the displacement on Tum Tum Nairn.
Yeah, and once you extend, okay, the foul gets on you. If he gets through, it would have been impeding his progress. So you got to keep that arm down even if it doesn't work out well.
Schilling traveled, turnover Michigan State.
That's a tough one. You're talking now 2 minutes and 30 seconds into the game, and your point guard is sitting down with 2, and now you got to make a decision. Do you bring him back during the game? During the first half.
What would you do?
Right now, sit and wait and see what happens. You don't want to get him a third in the first half.
Dom Ewell, the native of Germany, attacking Valentine, who's a tremendous defender. And on the slip-in, Iowa ties the game. Clemens, the Lansing native, gets the 2.
And Schilling a little bit sloppy, and both guards released, threw the ball out of bounds. And, you know, we said before, they turned the ball over up in Iowa City. They can't turn the ball here in East Lansing. You can't beat Iowa if you keep turning the ball over. They play for that. That's their defense. Trapping, pressing, running.
5 points off turnovers already for Iowa out of the 7. Clemens open, look for three.
I would probably get out on him. He's almost a 50% three-point shooter, and I'm sure once again his name was in yellow and circled in the scouting report. Great play.
And the finish for Costello down low.
Well, that was awfully well done. I mean, they read each other's eyes on that pick and roll. He slipped it, got his way in there. Terrific play. And a good comeback. Boy, he might have got hit. But anyways, good comeback, certainly by Iowa.
There's the speed from Tum Tum Nairn. He can go end to end as quickly as anybody.
Yeah, and I love the play. I just like to have his head up and then make him finish that play.
Tom Ewell.
You know what? Another thing you can't put in the scout report, by the way, they're relentless. They're relentless. And it's a nice thing to say about a basketball team, trust me.
Well, Ewell's coming off his first double-figure game in the league. He had 10 in the win against Nebraska. And another foul on the Michigan State offensive end. Ewell, 7 points a game on the year. The numbers are growing for a young man who played 1 year in high school basketball in New Jersey after spending all of his early life in Germany.
Yeah, he's another very good player. You start looking at them, you say, they're really good. I mean, you haven't heard about them much preseason. They're really good. McQuaid comes in the game against zone now. As I told you, you'll see a lot of switching defenses, certainly by Thomas. I just noticed it.
Oh, Aaron Harris!
Hello. Hello. I'm in the game now, folks, and I think that's a great thing. Anyways, without question, these two teams are going at each other. I mean, it's a heck of an atmosphere in here because I think both teams are really juiced up. And the amazing thing is they're playing hard but giving up points.
Recovered by Iowa. Jared Uthoff, the leading scorer, rimmed it out, and another second chance bucket for Iowa.
I'll tell you one thing right now. If you look over Tom Izzo, there's steam coming out of the side. And matter of fact, I knew someone was going in. Someone has to go in. Tom Izzo's not going to allow guys to go over his back to score.
Iowa second in the Big Ten, 13 second chance points per game as McQuaid, the freshman, rolls it out, and they are really scrambling on the boards, both teams.
I tell you what, this is a high-level basketball game. The intensity you can cut with a knife. I mean, it is just really, really fun to watch. Two teams initially come right out and go at each other. I'm impressed by the early Iowa banging on the glass.
Through Brady Ellingson, the freshman. Ewell off the bounce, knocks it down.
I'll tell you what, he did that over the stretched hand. They're feeling pretty good about themselves. I know they have 17 points, but they're feeling pretty good about themselves. As well they should.
So with Gazelle out, Ewell has 7 consecutive points for Iowa.
Well, terrific. I mean, he makes the three. He gets 2 great tip-ins, no question.
Harris again is bumped this time.
And you can almost have seen that coming. Michigan State back to attack. We're going to have some fun tonight, I think.
How about it? Well, West Virginia knocked off the #1 team earlier in the week. The West Virginia transfer, Aaron Harris, with a slam for Michigan State.
Because they're very comfortable attack as a team, and that includes the three-point shots.
12-4 run without Gazelle, who had the career-high 25 in the first meeting. So you're telling me that you were okay with Kemba Walker, 2 fouls, 3 minutes into a game? Is that what you're saying? You played better without him?
My heart was racing a lot, but the sweat was coming down. But besides that, it was just fine. No, I think sometimes, though, you're more apt to maybe get out of your office a little bit. And when you get 4 seniors, or 3 now on the court, and a junior, they've played before. And they can play offense at a quicker pace. And I'm not saying that you'd want him in the game, obviously. But I do think it paced the game. By the way, you think Michigan State's not playing well. He's shooting 58%. Unfortunately for them, I was really shooting the ball at 64%.
Against one of the best field goal percentage defenses in the country in Michigan State.
No question. But, I mean, they're playing. Both teams are playing. Long way to go. But
Ewell's got 7.
a lot of early subs, Jason. Tom is trying to find an answer defensively, not offensively.
You know, we were talking about that in shoot-around today. Tom Izzo has such a deep bench, but he's really at full strength for the first time. Either Valentine's been injured, Schilling's been dinged up, or coming off the bench. How do you then settle in so late in the year?
Well, it's not that late in some ways because the important games are coming up. The next game is always the most important one. But I have no question that's deep.
Long 3, no good for Uthoff, who's still scoreless.
I'll tell you, at 24 feet, he looked very comfortable. He really did. So when I said that was long, I don't think it made much difference to him. He's become a terrific prospect, by the way.
Utah?
Utah has become a terrific prospect. He can do so many things. The ease in which he shot that ball from 24 feet in and out is an indication of the things that he can do.
Pretty strong on the defensive end, too.
He's like Valentine. You know, the best scorer is also the best defender.
Mentioned Clemens, grew up in Lansing, Michigan. Played high school basketball with Denzel Valentine and Bryn Forbes. Big homecoming for him. Woodbury had it stripped, still loose. McQuaid got a hand on it and crowbarred it away for Michigan State. Forbes slicing throw for 2 and a foul. My goodness.
What's the call? Wow. That's a tough one.
They're going to wave off the basket. Offensive foul.
I don't. He looks like he's in the lane to me, but I can't tell. He's in the circle. No, he's not.
That's the second on Forbes.
Yeah, I know that. That might have been a good call, too. You know, it's a bang-bang, so it's difficult to see, but certainly you don't want him getting early foul trouble.
One of the best three-point shooters in the country, Bryn Forbes. Boy, Peter Jock, when he finds an opening, is lethal from 3.
And the quick release makes it look easy. You know, no one's getting to him because he catch and shoot. This is a surprise to me, to be quite honest with you. And it's right now, Michigan State is playing not bad defense, but having a tough time stopping Iowa.
11 points off turnovers for Iowa out of the 20 points. Valentine, a tremendous passer, set that up, and a wild shot for Harris.
I don't. You can't like the shot right now. You got to settle the game down a little bit. They're playing exceptionally well. There's no way you can let the game settle this easy.
Yeah, Woodbury traveled there, slid the foot.
You just had a charge. There's no makeup in this game, but it was close enough.
Here's Peter Jock for 3, his second.
How easy does he shoot it, Jason? And how quick? How do you shoot quick? He shot ready before the ball gets there, so you're ready to shoot.
A young man who came over from the Sudan with his brother. His father was killed very early in Peter Jock's life. He was a general in the army in Sudan, came over here, decided to go to Iowa, and has had a mighty fine career his first 2+ seasons.
Yeah, he's a very good basketball player, and obviously the ability to shoot the ball. The ability to shoot the ball is pretty special.
Another Michigan State turnover.
Well, you know, it seems funny, but the aggressor is the visitors. That's not normally the case here at Michigan State.
6 turnovers for the Spartans, who averaged 12 a game.
Yeah, and they had 16 in the last game.
Little wraparound to Jock. Working on McQuaid, the freshman, now Ewell.
You know, the surprising thing is all the kids, except for Woodbury, can really handle the ball.
McQuaid had it intercepted. Turnover number 7.
You might see a timeout here.
And a whistle going the other way. Well, it's been a big week already in the Big Ten. Some upsets and a possible one here for Fran McCaffrey. What's trending in the Big Ten coming up when you return? Michigan gets a win against Maryland without Karis LeVert. Some question as to whether or not he'll be back at all this year with the leg injury.
Yeah, I heard that. You know, I'll tell you what, this is terrific. What it tells me, there's so many names you didn't mention. I know you only have a short period of time, but without question, there's so many good players in this league. We're seeing 3 or 4 kids that you don't hear every day, Jock. And I mean, there's a lot of good players in this league. You know what? We're a long way from this thing, this game ending, and a heck of a long way from the season. You know, we're only getting started in conference play.
How about this? Denzel Valentine hasn't taken a shot since his game-opening 3.
Well, they're trapping him every time he gets the ball versus zone, and they actually trap him a couple times man-to-man. This is not typical movement, ball movement, no turnover. This is not typical ball movement, as I said before, of Michigan State. For whatever reason, that ball's not getting swung, and conversely, we just talked about this, Iowa's ball movement and player movement is exceptional. They're not just running off screens, they're running off screens with purpose.
Ground control to Major Tom, 20-13. Iowa over Michigan State. 3 turnovers, last 3 trips for the Spartans.
By the way, I think I'll move to Iowa if I can get walk-ons like the Bear kid that just came in. Holy God, he's a good-looking player he is.
Offensive rebound for the Hawkeyes. And a whistle down underneath the basket. We're going the other way.
Did he call a violation on that? It was a two-hand push that they missed. You know what Tom's struggling a tad with right now? Trying to get the right team. He left McQuaid and Danzel and I think and Harris. So he's trying to get the teams, a little of those teams we talked about before.
He's got Harris and Valentine together right now, along with McQuaid.
He's got scorers.
Schilling and Costello, two bigs that can score down low, and another risky pass.
That's what I don't believe. They're, for whatever reason, they're not seeing the quickness of this Iowa team defensively.
Schilling there, called for the foul on Saturday. Tobacco Road is the site to start a doubleheader. NC State, number 5 North Carolina, maybe rising in the polls, noon Eastern. Then 2 o'clock Perry Ellis, and right now number 1 Kansas against TCU at Allen Fieldhouse. Both games also live on Watch ESPN in the ESPN app.
By the way, 8 turnovers already for Michigan State, which is really, for them, almost unheard of.
That one just got spit out by the rim. And the Spartans, who have gone dry offensively, get a great look from Valentine, an outstanding passer.
Remember we said that Tom was thinking of maybe getting the lineup more scores in the game? And he gets Valentine at the point. When he's at the point, he's awfully good, and he's got Harris to pack to. It's a different look for them.
And an open look for Utah, his first field goal.
Well, where he's shooting from is open, I know that much. But no, I'll tell you, I am very impressed by their ball movement, very impressed by their look of wanting to attack on offense.
Jared Utah, the local kid from Cedar Rapids. One and done for Michigan State.
They got to get better shots than that.
My, oh my, the Hawkeyes shooting the 3-ball tremendously. Third for Peter Jock. Timeout, Spartans 20. And fleeced of the ball. Turnover, Michigan State.
Right idea, wrong execution. When he saw it close, he's got to veer outside. Great idea to think about attacking, but right now Michigan State isn't going fast. They're going too quick.
So how do you change that?
Slow it down and throw a few passes. Recognize what you have, what you don't have. They're too good not to.
Sounds so easy.
It does, you know. What do we got here? We got nothing, huh?
Whistle against Harris. Ryan Dorsey has it, and Tom Izzo during the last timeout not happy.
No, and what he's saying to the official now, by the way, about the other plays, is the fact they're grabbing for loose balls, and we just didn't call one on us. Not that he's trying to get an edge, but he is.
So you see, and now Tom Izzo working Gene Steratore over on the sideline.
As hard as he can.
You've never done that before, have you?
Every single game.
At least you're honest about it.
Exactly. That's my job.
Iowa just cannot miss. Utah, the earlier 3, it's 28-15. The Hawkeyes with 13 points off turnovers.
And you know, trying to find what offense, defense they're in, quite honestly, is hurting Michigan State right now. They're a little bit unsure.
5 for Utah. Down low, wow. Nairn. Knocked down, no call, out of bounds to Michigan State.
By the way, I'm not going to go after the officials. That's not the game. But there was a big-time foul in that play. He got grabbed by 2 hands. Big-time foul.
Well, Tum Nairn does have the speed, but he's not been healthy all year. He's been dealing with a plantar fascia injury. Walking around campus with a boot most of the season. Nairn unloads a 3. Schilling, that was over the cylinder and wave it off.
Boy, I don't know what angle he had. That's all I'm asking for. I don't know if it is or isn't, but his angle was wasn't even with the basket. Let's see.
Michigan State takes the ball away and out of bounds. Stripped from Alvin Ellis.
I think they're letting both teams kind of hack away a little bit and not calling either way, but you know, if the other one is getting the ball stolen, it's not a great thing.
Another turnover. Jock into the lane, and he got the roll.
Big time play, threw that body in, went to the left hand, protected the ball with his body, then ball came afterwards.
11 points for Peter Jock, and Michigan State having trouble catching the ball, Coach.
They are so off kilter right now. They've got to get back in some motion. They're trying to go one-on-one, and that shouldn't be the answer. I think they have a tough time once again adjusting between man and zone.
Just 4 assists tonight for Michigan State, one of the best passing teams in the country. And are we in the Bronx, Jim Calhoun?
Well, a little bit. In fairness to the fans, or anybody, I guess, you know, if you're going to grab and pull a little bit, you got to let it both ways. And 2 times down here, Michigan State was called for those same kind of grabs. I have no problem with the grabs. I want to let the kids play. But I think you got to do it both ways. It's a tough game to call, trust me.
Feel a little Big East-like to you here tonight?
Especially the Jizz.
Costello into Woodbury's body, puts the head down and scores.
Once again, used his body, went to the offhand, the left hand, really shielded the basketball. Good job by Costello. By the way, took his time in his shot, which is a big deal, a real big deal. Nice play. Costello's tired, by the way.
He saved them at Minnesota.
He's exhausted.
And Schilling couldn't handle the lob.
I just don't know if that was the right play. You know, I know he's open. I just don't know if it's the right play. The big kids, because they're having to move so much on defense, look a little fatigued. Both Schilling and Costello look a little tired, fatigued to me.
Utah.
You can't get off him.
Oh, my!
You can't get off him. He's making a national statement tonight, by the way. Boy, can he shoot.
Jared Utah, a 45.5% three-point shooter, has 8.
Tough position for Ellis because it's not a desperation time, but it's a time they're looking for something. Good shot. I mean, in and out, I'm not sure you can do much more than that.
Best shot they've had in a while.
Well, yeah, the best thing you're going to have to do is play defense. Team shooting 62% against you. They're down to 42. Michigan State is right now. They've got just to play better defense. The first thing you got to do is stop them from scoring.
How do you do that?
Play better defense.
Get a hand in his face.
Find him earlier. That time a little better job.
Valentine slides in for 2. Maybe he'll take over.
Well, the attack was really important. They've got to attack. But they've got to, once again, read the situation. Don't attack when there's folks there.
Jock. Wide and a rebounding foul against Ewell.
I tell you what, I really like Ewell, though. I mean, he's springy. He's good around the boards and can shoot the ball.
Well, I know you've always been a big holiday season guy.
I love his play right at the rim. Good change of hands. Goes back to the right hand.
Incident as he collided with a snowplow in Iowa City. 9 days later, Iowa came here to the Breslin Center and had an emotional double-figure comeback.
An unbelievable comeback by the Iowa Hawkeyes, and the entire state of Iowa can be very proud as A.C. Earl points to the 40 in the back of his head.
Tom Izzo told us earlier today, he was an assistant for that game, and he said, look, it was one of those games you lose, but you can take it pretty easily because there was another force that day here at the Breslin Center.
No question. I remember I heard the news of it, and I lost a kid of mine, Reggie Lewis, God rest his soul, of a heart attack after he left out at a young age. And there's no doubt those things just seem so unnatural to you. And Chris Street was a heck of a player, and I remember talking to Tom Davis a little about that.
Travel called on Clemens, and Fran McCaffrey said to us today at shoot-around, he said, folks in Iowa still will tell you exactly where they were when they heard the news about
Well, they have
Chris
the Chris Street Fund, they have the Chris Street Golf Tournament, and they still eulogize an incredible young man, which is a great example for others to come along.
Denzel Valentine off to Ellis, open look off the mark.
You know, the moment may be difficult for him. You know, Ellis hasn't played all that much, and right now they're asking him to make the same kind of shots that you see a Harris or Forbes make.
It's about 7.5 minutes a game as Tom Izzo still figures out that substitution
Well, right now he has
pattern.
to defensively. I told you, he's trying to figure it out defensively right now.
Ewell for 3. Iowa's 8 of 12 from three-point range.
Well, terrific shooting. I'm not sure he wasn't pretty well guarded right now. The problem is that they don't feel any pressure. And I think without question, I think it's pretty obvious that right now it's a struggling Michigan State team offensively.
Michigan State's only allowing 26% from 3 this year. Iowa 8 for 12 tonight.
And they're not getting good shots. I mean, they're in serious trouble right now. They're going to change something about this game. Maybe they're going to stop them a few times and then get better shots on offense. Back cut, layup. Great block.
Swept away by Deontay Davis. Tum Nairn draws the contact. And remember, Iowa's doing this without Mike Gazelle, who had 25 in the first meeting. 2 fouls early.
Yeah, and I know he's really, really good. And he's been a great key. But in all honesty, right now, Iowa's playing terrific basketball, shooting the ball at 56%. Have turned over Michigan State 13 times, and we still have almost 4.5 minutes to go in the first half. That's phenomenal what they're doing. And I don't think it makes a difference on personnel. I really don't.
Without Gazelle, 31-13 for Iowa. Michigan State had the lead when he left, and he thought maybe panic time for the Hawkeyes. The opposite has happened.
They tightened up. And a funny thing, on big games sometime on the road, there's a sense, especially with an experienced team, there's a looseness about you. Let's watch the defense here, Jason. I think every stop is, you got to get this thing down to a manageable number. You really do.
So what's missing defensively for Michigan State tonight?
Well, stopping them. I mean, right now, they just, well, the three-point shots, a couple of those have been just ridiculous in length. And they've shot over people. But the thing, I think early, they gave them some three-point shots, easier ones they made, and fed their confidence. You can't feed a team's confidence. You got to defeat the team's confidence. Maybe a little more ball pressure. Maybe make put the ball down, not get those open shots from 3.
It's a mismatch. Ewell on Colby Wallenman.
Yeah. Well, he hasn't used Colby much in the last few games, and he's trying to find somebody right now that's going to play defense for him.
Best sloughed off. Open look doesn't go. Second chance, no. Woodbury dragged down. Valentine got his hands on him. That's the 6th personal against Michigan State in the half.
I would never normally say this about a Michigan State team. Rebound. Loose balls. What Tom Izzo told you this afternoon is exactly what's hurting them right now. They aren't rebounding. They're giving a team that's on fire right now second shots. And honestly, Iowa has come up with an awful lot of loose balls.
They're getting out-rebounded by 5. Michigan State.
It just seems like more. Yeah. It does. When things aren't going well, you can't just keep watching the other team score.
That's another open 3. Clemens has 8.
I don't know if that was open, but because he made a great move, step back move. But regardless, they are so easy in rhythm. It's absolutely amazing to me.
Oh, Valentine looked like he might have had a clear path and gave it up for a 3 that he buries.
Well, over the next 3 minutes, defense is going to become the key. They just can't let the separation get, it's deep now, they can't get any deeper down.
Against an Iowa team, it's been a second-half team this year. They came back from 19 down against Purdue, and Nicholas Baer, the redshirt freshman, over the back.
By the way, I'm not disappointed because they've got their way by attacking, and they continue to attack with laughs against Michigan State. I like the effort.
Hawkeyes unbeaten in the Big Ten, trying to get to 13-3 overall.
Iowa does not have a foul shot in the game and has put 39 on the board and are up by 15 points without a foul shot.
Unreal. Kevon Best missed.
But most of their shots, a lot of their shots, as you know, from distance, is not going to get fouled from there. Instead, they're making them.
Again, without Mike Gazelle, the senior guard, 2 fouls in the first couple of minutes tonight on the bench. Jock thought about the 3 and got popped.
Well, I know he's from the Sudan, but that was a European step. And you know what? I see that European step become such a part of basketball where they take that extra step, just as Tom Izzo explained to the officials right now. And Fran is trying to get his, to see if he should come out, they have to take him out of the game. Doesn't probably want to do that.
Well, we'll take a look. Yeah, that's not a legal jump stop, right? They didn't come down at the same time.
Exactly. But you know, he got hit, but actually I think it looked like the ball almost drove him down. It wasn't really contact on him, it was the ball. It was a foul. This building, which was electric before the game, is very quiet right now. And it's been I shouldn't say strange, it's been a great performance. More than anything else, it's been a great performance by Iowa.
First free throw for Iowa gets them to 40 in the first half against Michigan State.
It's shocking. It's not surprising, it's shocking. Not that Iowa's not good, they're terrific actually, but they're playing right now on all cylinders. They're really good on offense, putting enough pressure in defense, changing things up. They start out by trapping the ball. They're doing a nice job, really nice job, and not really taking a lot of chances.
A little bit of pressure now from Fran McCaffrey.
Hardcore trap. And this is where I think I've seen Michigan State for the first time all year unsure of themselves on the offensive end.
How do you combat that when you've won so much?
I think you come back that by going back to what you are. You're not going to reinvent yourself, but you know, a 1-2-2 half-court trap. You've seen that before. They worked on it yesterday in practice.
Foul against Clemens, his second. Wallenman to the free throw line, and Michigan State in danger of being yet another top 10 team to stumble this week. Kansas, Maryland, Miami lost to Virginia. Duke has a loss as well, all in the top 10. So Michigan State very easily could be number 1 in the country if they were to come back and win tonight.
Or drop. But, you know, we may be looking at another team, Iowa, who's awfully good.
Tom Izzo's not looking at anything right now.
No, he's not.
Quick trigger. Offensive rebound for Iowa.
I said loose balls and rebounds, that's the thing that's been most shocking.
The freshman Christian Williams out of Illinois with the rebound, and Jock fills it up again.
Step back jumper. You know, usually it takes a more experienced player, a strength player to make that, but he looks so smooth.
Iowa now 9 second chance points on a 43 tonight.
And we're down to 10 on the shot clock.
And McQuaid whistles it to nobody.
I love the way he comes off to get free. And then it makes a terrific move on the step back. Watch. There it is. He just gave himself some distance with an easy step back.
I mean, we're talking about inches there, right?
Oh, no question. But efficient. I like the efficiency. You know, he's not taking a lot of motion to get room to get his jump shot off.
Tossed it past Harris to find Utah. Rebound for Wallenman. Nobody came to help him.
It is as I said, every coach has a game like this which they don't like. But Michigan State is so out of kilter, it's unbelievable. Whether it be rebounding, loose balls, or particularly, I think they're awful on offense right now.
Harris splits the gap, lays it off the window, no. Woodbury kept it alive.
Loose balls. We said it again. Rebounding loose balls, they beat him to the basketball.
It's got to drive you batty as a coach when you say it.
Yeah. I mean, some of those step-back jump shots are difficult to defend. Getting the ball that's near you is not. Go get it.
Jock fouled. So I've got a question for you.
Yep.
But keep it PG. What's your message if you're Tom Izzo in the locker room?
Well, I know Tom's message, and the problem is that there are no words to describe how you feel, number one. And number two, you know, there isn't a simple solution because they are making tough shots, and they're making what they can really make. Most importantly, though, when they get the hustle points, coming off screens, loose balls, rebound, they've been terrific off the glass. And those things, I think, and I'm sure Tom is going to tell them, they can control those in the second half on a much better job. The thing that's the hardest thing, Jason, is to get some rhythm back on offense. Rhythm's a funny thing, like tempo is in anything else. And right now, they've completely lost their confidence offensively.
17 for Peter Jock, 7 off his career high already.
Kobe hasn't played too much, and that time it was an open lane to the basket. He never looked in.
Rare confusion most of the night from Michigan State. No whistle. Intercepted. Williams up ahead. Jock jams it.
You and I have not seen Tom Izzo much like this before.
One last chance.
This might go.
Just missed.
It's been that kind of half.
Whoa.
Unbelievable. There's no other word for it. I mean, I think all of us are in a state of shock. And by the way, really impressed.
Without their 17 points off turnovers. Tom Izzo said we've got to limit turnovers. They didn't do it.
No, matter of fact, they've got almost now as many as they had the entire last game. So it's been very disappointing, certainly. But their effort has to be better. They've got to dig in and start playing what they consider Michigan State basketball. It's going to be very interesting first couple of minutes to see what happens.
First time since February 2011, Michigan State has trailed by 20 or more at the half, and that day was against Iowa as well. Oh, that's the third foul against Bryn Forbes, who played 3 minutes in the first half.
And Tom did something I think I've seen myself to do. They looked over, and all he did was just play on. Let's see. I don't think so. If that's your third foul, it's a tough one.
Bryn Forbes has 7 personal fouls against Iowa this year.
Well, you know, they do. I tell you what, they do a great job of, and this Fran McCaffrey should get more than enough credit for, certainly. We've been talking all about what Tom Izzo is going to do. Fran McCaffrey has his team show up here more than well. Represented in the sense of what they wanted to do against them, and they went right away and posted up for us. The thing I was saying before, I think one of the... he got to the paint, that's where you want to be.
Tum Nairn with his first field goal.
But I love what Fran McCaffrey did, getting back to the initial point. They posted up for him to get him in foul trouble. He just didn't let him play defense to the outside, where he's very good. Get his butt into the post, see if he can defend the post.
Tom Izzo said after the first game, Anthony Clemens took Bryn Forbes to the cleaners, and here Woodbury, with nobody around, has his first field goal.
A misplayed pick and roll, no communication. And that's the kind of thing Tom is going to keep harping on, the effort, the lack of effort. We've got to be, we can talk. I don't know if we can do anything else, we can talk, certainly.
But how do you extract effort from a team?
Well, I'm sure he used every single pronoun, adverb that he probably could think of in the locker room.
You think they end in LY, the things he said?
Well, they ended in a lot of different things. And once again, if you don't communicate on pick and rolls twice in a row now, you've got to talk. No communication, no help. And just a very poor job, and once again, very atypical of Michigan State. But I'm going to give credit to Fran McCaffrey. He's picking them off and screening the players he feels can handle the pick and roll, who don't want to make that kind of switch.
So who's he picking on? What type of player?
Well, you know, if he can get, Costello to have to play that pick and roll, Costello misplayed it because he went out to play the little man, and they didn't communicate. Someone had to drop back and play the roll man, Woodbury.
Jared Uthoff, 80% foul shooter, 2 for 2.
Every place that Fran McCaffrey's been, they win. There's got to be something to that.
Forbes, no. Out of bounds off of Iowa. Fran McCaffrey is the only coach to have taken 3 teams from 3 different one-bid leagues to the NCAA tournament.
And that's the hardest kind of team to take him anyways. But I don't have any question. Backcourt?
He never established
no,
in the
he
front
didn't.
court.
That's a good one, yeah. I would say it's borderline that tells you where they are now. They're having to go backcourt to run an out-of-bounds play.
Valentine blocked by Uthoff. Off the tip ball, here comes Iowa.
And all of a sudden the switch of defense coming out on a zone. And in all honesty, they weren't quite, and Michigan State wasn't quite ready for it.
What did Fran McCaffrey tell us earlier? Jared Uthoff will block your shot. Not help defense, he'll block your shot. The leading block man in the Big Ten.
What he's trying to do is take Forbes and get him out of the game by a simple method, defense.
Coast to coast, Tum Tum.
Well, Tum Tum is terrific. And the half court said he's not a great shooter, but he can really go. And they need more of that. Pick and roll again, let's see the communication. Down screen.
Jock tried to do it himself. Valentine got a face full of Woodbury's palm. Gazelle had it tipped and got it back.
That was a strange sequence. There clearly were a couple fouls committed.
Crowd thinks so too. Iowa looks a little sped up right now.
Good defense that time.
Second chance, Utah. Off the spin. Had it redirected.
By the way, it's play on with everything right now.
Sweeping through Utah. They got it back.
How tough are they playing right now? Iowa deserves a ton of credit. I think they've woken Michigan State up, but Iowa's ready to play.
Utah. Woodbury and Forbes battling.
I think the foul might have been on Schilling to get him, but he had great position. Woodbury was not moving out of there. At 7-1, 255, watch this. What do you think? The right arm holding is what they should have called.
That's torque.
That's unbelievable.
Third foul on Gavin Schilling for Michigan State, which played 13 guys in the first half, Coach.
They're trying to find an answer. Right now, part of the answers to me is showing a little more. They're not scoring much because guess what? By that I mean Iowa, because Michigan State is kind of getting into them pretty well.
This possession is over a minute now for the Hawkeyes.
Offensive rebound.
Trying to sweep the season series. Gazelle navigating through. Foul on Iowa. Michigan State trying to add to the effort defensively.
As I said before, we can't control the shots, we can control our effort. And the effort is probably, I'm not exaggerating, somewhere in the neighborhood of 50 to 60% better. I don't need stats to prove it. They're playing their butts off right now, and that's what they should be doing.
How difficult is it to go $134 on the defensive end and pitch a shutout?
Well, then you know what Tom Izzo had to say, because they come out, whether they're upset, inspired, it's not important. They come out ready, much more ready than they were at the start of the game. Nice play.
Costello from Valentine.
Might have a game.
Where do you go if you're Iowa?
Keep playing the same way you got here. No sense changing now. They built a 22-point lead. I agree with you. They're being pushed out with a little more pressure defense.
Utah on Davis. Over him for another.
That's a big-time play. You see that at the highest levels, and you see that in the NBA. Very few kids can at 22 feet just step back and shoot as easy and on balance as he does. He's really good.
The youngest of 5 Utahs from Cedar Rapids with his third three. Nairn tripped up, hit the underside of the basket.
Might have been a lot of control, too.
Off the dish from Gazelle, one and done for Iowa.
I would think that Michigan State wants to run.
Travel against Harris. Turnover number 15 for Michigan State.
I don't think the scoreboard shows it, but it's a different Michigan State team.
Points, 8 rebounds, and 6 assists. He fills up the box score, and now he's tied with Magic Johnson with 491 assists. That's lofty company.
I think the word special comes to mind. You know, it's amazing. Obviously, Magic, one of the iconic figures in the history of basketball, not just Michigan State, but nationally. It's a great accomplishment. It's the last thing he's thinking about right now, but no question, it's a great accomplishment.
He's the guy that gave the post-game speech the game after Tom Izzo lost his father. It was during that road trip to Iowa in the first game. Tom Izzo lost his dad, Carl, during that road trip. They went to Dallas after the Iowa game, watched the college football playoff semifinal, then went to Minnesota. You saw them live in a game that Matt Costello helped them win to stay at just a one-loss team. They're 3-1 in the Big Ten, but in danger tonight.
They're really in danger. You know, every TV timeout to me is to get a point when we get back here. Let's get ourselves to 12. Let's get ourselves to 8, whatever it may be. They've got to chip away. You're not going to do it one shot. You're going to chip away, play defense, every loose ball, play with great effort, and then get out and score.
Ellingson, the freshman, for Gazelle against the freshman McQuaid. Gazelle off the switchback, got hugged, and a turnover.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I thought the first call was just a bump.
Costello decisive for 2.
Yeah, I like what they did. And they went down and got the layup.
You've got your hand up as if to say calm down, right?
Well, it's amazing. Costello makes a great post move, and I thought Iowa did a great job of accelerating pace and getting the ball right back at them. Good defense, by the way, with Valentine. He saved the 2 points that time.
Costello into double figures tonight for Michigan State. One of 3 seniors to start. Bryn Forbes has been quiet. Valentine has been good tonight in his first start at the Breslin Center since December 12th.
Davis getting a lot more work, as you notice. Interesting, he's playing one of the best players in the league as only a freshman. Can't leave him open.
It's been happening all night. This is Bear, the freshman.
I'm just not sure where the lack of communication came. And, you know, that's not what Michigan State does, and I've watched them over the years, coached against them. They're not typical Michigan State defense, mainly from the communication aspect.
Is that on the initial on-ball defender?
Well, just overall, because right now they're trying to find the answers to the whole thing, and it's not that you get down 2 or 3 points. They're down big numbers. And right now they're passing up 3-pointers like crazy.
McQuaid stuns it in for 2.
Well, you know, give him a lot of credit. He looks like he's not quite confident in shooting, so he did the right thing by taking it to the rim.
You remember late in that Kansas game, they beat Kansas early in the year. McQuaid's confidence built during that game, hit a couple of huge threes.
But a lot of freshmen don't have enough experience yet to have a lot of layers of confidence. That takes time and a lot of success. I still like the things he does.
He always wants the ball.
He does. And you know, in the whole thing, he makes good decisions.
Nifty pass, Valentine. Harris couldn't make him pay.
They need some of those to go in. Come right back at you. Nice play.
Gazelle right to the rack.
Right back at you. You know, you gotta. This is where Iowa shows me even more. They go right after you. Watch this. Bang. Made everybody stand up. Got the layup and won.
Why is it so important? You say it all the time. Attack the basket.
Because good things happen. I think if you make it a stand-around 3-point shooting contest, you win some, you lose some. If they go in, that's fine. But attacking the rim, good things happen.
Who was the best attacker you had?
I've had a lot of great ones, certainly.
You got to pick one.
But I have to pick one. Most recently, I would say Kimball Walker.
Yeah.
Could penetrate with anybody. He'd attack you every time.
No 3-point play. Davis, the freshman, the rebound. He's a possible NBA guy himself very soon, Deontay Davis.
No question. Nice play.
Wallenman knocked it out of bounds, kept it alive for a moment.
Yeah, Costello just doesn't look like himself physically. He was very fatigued when he went to the bench. Schilling, he didn't seem to be on his game. I think, once again, it's that kind of smallish type lineup, mobile lineup that I was running. They kind of run them to death. They run up the court every time on fast breaks. They use a lot of people, and they're going right at them.
Just like that, bumping everywhere. Clemens wanted a foul, he got 2 anyway.
And that was a no call. And that should have been no call.
Valentine being a little cavalier with the ball. Harris, laid by Chalk, and it swatted away.
And that looked like a good block from here.
Ewell, who had a huge first half. Hamon Wagner couldn't score.
But about Fred McCaffrey, I love going right back at the team. And that's why they're up 23, because they're not relenting.
Michigan State was #1 earlier in the year, and it has not been an envious position. The top of the hill will tell you why, especially this week when you reach. Lost that game. Kansas at West Virginia. Bob Huggins' team playing some of the best basketball in the country, and they have a chance to topple Oklahoma as well. Clearly right now the contender for the #1 throne at this point.
Yeah, you know, but I think what's happening, we see a lot of good teams, not a lot of great teams yet, and I think that's a major problem. Zone defense again by Iowa.
2 and a foul for Costello.
And Costello needed that bench time, Jason. You know, he's getting very fatigued. I thought Tom got him out, got him back in, and then we'll try to win to him and try to get that ball on the short corner where the defense didn't play it very well. But they've just got to recognize the defenses that Iowa's playing and go at them. And in fact, I just think that Fran McCaffrey, I'm sure he's doing this, have his kids keep attacking. Probably a little man-to-man pressure coming up. Bad foul. Bad foul, Matt. McRae just made a bad foul. There's no reason to put your hands on a guy. I haven't seen many guys make shots from 95 feet, and that's where he fouled.
You haven't?
Not many times. I hope I haven't. Lose some bad games that way. You know what I'm saying? He fouled 95 feet from the hoop.
Yeah.
Because Harris didn't come up. That's what Tom is saying.
Bryn Forbes back into the game for Michigan State.
I said he'd do it at the 10-minute mark. It's 11. Well, mainly because you're going to get some shooting there. They've got to make some threes for any chance to come back. I don't know if I was going to give them a chance, though. They're playing terrific.
Forbes just 0 for 2 from three-point range tonight.
I said before, 11-4 now on the offensive glass in favor of Iowa against one of the best, certainly, rebounding teams in the country over the past 25 years.
Clemens, the kid from Lansing, who's got nearly 50 people here watching in his family and friend group. McQuaid wide open.
Everything but in. I thought he stumbled a little before he got the ball.
Tip ball. Valentine on the run out. Clemens, his high school teammate, is back and he can only watch.
That looks like more. He's getting into the game a little more, and obviously, he's just back, but that was a big-time shot. And you got to have a lot of stones, quite frankly, to make that kind of shot. It's not onions, it's stones.
Under 10 to go. Iowa got a hand on it and plucks it. Bear fouled.
No choice. Look at Tom, and I don't blame him for this. Incredibly upset because teammates are bailing teammates out. And in this case, everybody in Michigan State left a man being harassed alone.
And that look, by the way, very rarely do you see Denzel Valentine hanging his head. He's usually the upbeat one, bringing his teammates along.
I mean, they're down to 17 now. I mean, they're within range.
Tonight, by the way, after Pittsburgh, Louisville, Sports Center at night, Jay Harris, John Anderson join him. Highlights, Magic, Raptors from London, Cavs and Spurs, and updates on the Warriors as well. Sports Center at night, streaming live on Watch ESPN and the ESPN app.
Well, we got a little under 10 to go. It's an 18-point game. A lot of things happen in basketball. Nice trap move.
A lot of length for Iowa out there, Bear.
Well, they just ran at it and got it right, and we call dead man's corner. Right as you get over half court, you can't go back court, you can't go sideline. That's 2/3 of the trap already working for you. With the zone, I would think they're going to get the ball to Harris. No, to go right inside.
Well, it's an interesting lineup for Michigan State. Under 29 minutes all year have they had Valentine, Forbes, and Harris on the floor together, and they have them now to try and up the score.
Well, and they're plus 40 with that group. I just think that's the best offensive group they have.
Forbes, no. He gets it back.
That's what we're talking about effort. That's what we're talking about effort. Great play by Forbes. Those are the kind of things at least get you back playing the kind of basketball that this team is capable of. And I'm sure they're going to be reminded of that.
Forbes, catch and shoot. Harris spiked it out of bounds to Iowa. We're talking about those three guards. Tough to zone them.
Very tough to zone. But right now, the ball, they're not making baskets. I mean, they're just trailing on. They're 2 for 14 right now from 3.
Valentine back, so they have the three guards together. Inside, easy two, Woodbury.
Costello that time took his eye off the ball. Literally took his eye off the basketball. Right now, nothing is falling Michigan State. And once again, that's one of the reasons that that Iowa's doing a great job, in my opinion, of making sure they keep on attacking.
Try to sweep Michigan State for the year.
No help.
Gazelle down the lane.
Everybody on their man, not playing our man, the ball. That's our man.
A little indecisive for Michigan State. All night offensively.
But you give him the ball inside and give him that clear on it, as he just did, take away any weak side help. Davis going to score a lot of points for you.
McDonald's All-American last year, Deontay Davis.
Oh.
Peter Jock.
I hate the expressions, but as a coach and as a basketball lover, that's big time. That's hard to stop.
He has been a marksman tonight. First points this half. Harris, the response, and he fills it up. Timeout, Michigan State.
And I think that's a very good timeout.
Gazelle.
Regardless, good pressure right up here at Michigan State. You got to keep looking at these timeouts to see, can we take chicken chunks off? As I said, you won't get this in a big burst. You're going to get this 2 at a time.
So what's allowed Iowa to keep it around this 20 range this half?
Their mentality. They're attacking when they had Gazelle out of the game, and they're attacking with Gazelle in the game. And they won't let Michigan State catch them because they're moving too fast.
Down the stretch we go from East Lansing. In East Lansing, just free throw number 10 this evening for the Hawkeyes. They're 7 out of 10. They're still up 19.
They've all been playing terrific. And I said one of the reasons right now, because there's been a great deal of improvement on the Michigan State defense. Right now, Iowa's only shooting 36% in the second half. And yet, the reason they can't catch them is the uncontested layups they get ahead because of the way they keep tackling.
Valentine's 5th assist. These are the top 2 assist teams in the Big Ten. They average 39 combined a game. Skilled passers.
You know, the problem with this big deficit, good defense.
Gazelle had to give it up. That's over the back. It's against Utah.
Well, the problem with Michigan State, they're playing very good defense now, but when they get down, 24, 25 points, you can't make a mistake. You got to get every call, and that's not going to happen. And you got to make close to every shot, and they got to miss some open shots. The combination, maybe they get back. I still think we have a game 17 with 7:10 to go, but it's a long shot.
Well, Tom Izzo's brought him to 7 Final Fours since 1999. He's come back from deficits in the past. 7 minutes to go.
Yeah, time is not yet a factor, but it's starting to be. And that was a good pass. I just thought that Valentine threw the ball too hard, and Costello didn't turn quite quick enough.
I think Valentine's a little frustrated.
I think he's very frustrated. I think the entire Michigan State team is, and honestly, I'm sure this will be told to them, some of the things they brought on themselves, though. Some of the things they brought on themselves. And the other things, actually, Iowa brought some of the things on.
Gazelle the wraparound, and Davis called for the foul.
It looked good, but maybe down below they got him. The block looked good. I don't know if there's much contact below. Tonight they've let it go. Tonight they've let it go.
First free throw no good for Woodbury, who's a top 10 free throw shooter in the Big Ten at 82%. That could help Iowa come tournament time. They're 73% for the year from the foul line.
The way they're playing tonight could help. As I said, I'm just so impressed by their aggressiveness. These are the kind of things, though, for Michigan State to have any chance at all that Iowa has to do for them. Iowa doesn't want to do it for them, but they need some things to happen positively. They haven't had much of that all night.
Michigan State shortened the bench, too, here in the second half. 13 guys played in the first half. Davis to follow.
Terrific play. Read the weak side, went up, and no hesitation. It's more interesting. Time not a factor yet.
What do you think of Iowa's demeanor tonight in big spots?
It's been amazing thus far. We still have 6 to go.
It's a lot of time at the Breslin Center.
Exactly.
2 to shoot. Got to hurry. Drew Iron.
I think those late shot clock shots aren't what they really want right now. They've got to. It's a little early to be working that clock.
Javon Bess has checked in. The sophomore who started early in the year finds a lane and lifted it out.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Those shots have to fall for you. Good move. You got to go back and play defense. That's all they know right now. Next play.
Last time Iowa swept Michigan State, we told you about that game in '93, the game right after the death of Chris Street. Jarrett Uthoff has been outstanding tonight.
Maybe better than that. I mean, he's been terrific, and even when he misses shots, they're taking good shots. That, to me, I think will look better. That was, in some way, that really hurt. Valentine's not himself. I mean, he's playing hard, but he's not himself.
Tum Tum Nairn knifing in.
Watch this time, Jeff Gazelle just sets a 1-4 low and just keeps the ball top to try to take some time.
You saying ISO?
Yeah, well, just to take time. At first, I thought it was a little too early, but as you're hitting out 4:30, it's not too much time. And the separation is big. You don't have to worry too much about that. So he's going to make sure that Michigan State has very little time to come back.
And remember the rule change this year. The 5 seconds closely guarded rule is gone.
Yeah, I hate that.
Big for teams with the lead. You hate it?
Yeah, because you're gonna give the defense a chance to win too.
Valentine step back.
That's kind of the story of the night, isn't it?
Out of bounds to the Spartans.
I love the way he curls off the screen. He took him just on an angle up to run the man into it. I love that. And here's Tum Tum. And Tum Tum, when he goes to the rim, is so talented. He could do this more often.
What do you think is the cap on his shooting ability?
Well, I don't know because he's been hurt and he can't practice. So it makes it very difficult.
Foul is on Woodbury for Iowa. And Denzel Valentine to the free throw line, where he's an 85% foul shooter. Well, Denzel Valentine, a little sleight of hand there.
Yeah, it was.
This is the first time in the second half Michigan State has closed to within 15. Wow. I don't think you'd say that tonight, huh?
Well, even field goal percentage now. Michigan State, 44. Okay. Iowa, 44. And yeah, we have a 14-point game. It gives an idea how good Iowa was when they're shooting well over 60.
Pressure on. Gazelle whirls out of it. How much do you slow the tempo if you're Iowa?
Right now, it's slow as some. I'd want to move the ball more than dribbling, but he's pretty good with the ball.
Gazelle wards off of Harris. Valentine leads the charge. Player of the Year candidate Denzel Valentine.
You know, they can't, you got to take good shots, but they can't be so set.
Somebody's open.
Yeah, they are.
Harris. Iowa clears it again. Utah.
Even when they're open, they're guarded. They're guarding themselves right now. I think that Michigan State has been incredibly frustrated, and you well know this, and just not playing the basketball they're capable of.
Tom Izzo's got a big deficit to chisel out. A 14-point lead for the Hawkeyes, trying to stay unbeaten. Denzel Valentine again, now passing Magic Johnson on the all-time Michigan State assist list.
Well, pretty special. I said before, when you get an opportunity to pass an icon, not just at Michigan State, but worldwide in basketball, pretty special. But right now, I'm sure he's trying to beat, with exceptionally long odds, this Iowa team.
You were talking about it during the break. Your teams have come back from large deficits, but fatigue starts to set in.
Yeah, because you get frustrated in offense. You didn't put the effort in. You pick the effort up and honestly have to overdo just on defense to stay even to some degree. And I think it's taken away so much of their offense. They look so out of kilter on offense. And quite frankly, look fatigued. And I think a lot of it has to do with the effort they needed. And now they can't make a shot.
Tum Tum Nairn, just 3 threes all year with the miss.
They're going to take more time. And there's no question, without that closely guided rule, let's find a way. The best thing to do, just keep the ball in your best handler's hands.
Utah, long step and the miss. How about Costello? Nairn from Valentine. Tip is good. It was off the cylinder. Davis got the fingertip.
Well, you know, Davis is a talent. And, you know, he's a young kid and he's played a very good role to get them to 16-1. And, you know, tonight he may have got himself a lot more minutes just by doing so.
For a Michigan State team that could have been maybe the #1 team in the country with a win. And Costello gives a foul. Say this holds. Michigan State takes the loss.
Yep.
Who's your #1 team in the country?
You got me. I mean, you know, they just they're just so close, all of them, that I can't. When I look at Oklahoma, I look at Kansas, I look at North Carolina. I mean, you're looking at really good teams. Start looking down the line at Iowa. I mean, we saw something here. The one thing I know, it wasn't an accident how they played. It may have been poor for Michigan State, but most of this game result has got to do with the way Iowa played. Maybe the reaction by Michigan State, that's different. They didn't have the kind of reaction they need to have. But Iowa's awful good.
Anthony Clemens, the local product, with 13. He and Valentine and Forbes have been friends since 7 years old. And Clemens may have the better of them twice. Valentine's just playing backyard basketball.
Yeah, he's just trying to play right now. He's frustrated. I mean, it's been a long night for all of them. But once again, as a team, they didn't play well. And I always used to tell my teams, fellas, if we play like that, we kind of got what we deserve. In turn, Iowa really gave them everything.
McQuaid nearly picked Gazelle's pocket 8 to shoot. Gazelle, long 2. Yes, sir!
Wow. He shows things at times that you don't think he has. I mean that in the most positive manner. There's that block shot on the jump shooter. That doesn't work many times, but he's got such impeccable timing. He's a very good defensive basketball player. He's certainly a very intriguing player as we get to the important time of the season, the second half in basketball.
Well, we told you earlier, Iowa had not won at Michigan State since 1993, a game that's very special to Iowa fans, just 9 days after the death of Chris Street, and that's going to change tonight here in East Lansing.
Yeah, and Iowa deserves the win without question. I mean, this is not Michigan State playing poorly. This is Iowa making them play poor. That kind of night. That kind of night. And you ask questions of how to get it back and how. They didn't start the game with the right approach, and they ended up, quite frankly, with the results being the way they approached the game. Lousy.
Knew it a couple minutes in tonight, did you?
They were not good. And in turn, that first half by Iowa was pretty special.
This is a team that may very quickly rocket up the polls.
No doubt.
McQuaid.
He's a terrific shooter who can't buy a basket right now.
Before tonight, 4 teams had lost to the top 10 this week. It's 5 now, thanks to Fran McCaffrey's Hawkeyes by 17 at Breslin. Iowa hits 10 threes and sweeps Michigan State for the first time since 1993, adding Michigan State to that ledger.
Well, the best thing I can say about this game is let's give Iowa all the credit. They come in and not only beat Michigan, but beat them like a drum in many, many ways physically. I love this Michigan State team. I certainly really like, and more than like, the Iowa team. That was a great performance by Iowa, no question. Let's give credit to Iowa for coming in and taking this win. And unfortunately, Michigan State didn't kind of resist as we normally expect.
Now tied with Indiana at 4-0 atop the Big Ten. Final score is 76-59. The Hawkeyes